Welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Today we're going to be talking about the injury to Jonah Jackson, how serious it is, should we be concerned, and kind of all of the above. Before we dive into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan. And, of course, on Instagram at JKBogan as well. Before we dive into it, just want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Via. So if you're trying to go and get some hemp gummies, the link is in the description below. You'll get 15% off your purchase using my promo code JKBogan. That is 15% off your purchase using my promo code JKBogan. Now let's get back into it. So, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I am a little concerned by this. Jonah Jackson suffered a bruised scapula, okay? That sounds probably worse than it actually is. Kind of like spleen, right? Everyone hears spleen and they think, wow, that sounds terrible. It's not great, but, sometimes these names for bones and, for instance, a shoulder blade, like a scapular is, they sound worse than they are. Jonah Jackson, I want to take you back here because I have mentioned, okay, we did a video on Jonah Jackson. I explained if he stays healthy, he's going to be pretty damn good. However, health has been an issue since 2022. He was on an injury report, neck strain, week 7 of 2022. He had a concussion, which he, of course, missed a game in 2022 for that. Preseason, he had a meniscus tear in 2023. He also had an ankle sprain that caused him to miss 4 games and allowed him to appear on injury reports 5 times. And he also had a wrist injury. So this is somebody who has had a hard time staying healthy in the short term. And, I'll be honest with you. This is probably why the Lions pivoted towards getting Kevin Zeitler. Okay? End of the day, I mean, this is really what it comes down to. The best ability is availability. And Jonah Jackson just has not been available, if we're being honest with ourselves. So the reality of it is this, okay? He is going to miss 6 weeks. Now, you might be doing the math right now and thinking, well, Jake, 6 weeks, he's not going to miss any games in the regular season, right? I mean, that's how it looks right now. And yes, that to an extent can be true. He probably won't miss, any games or anything like that. But the reality of it is this, okay? I don't care that the Rams don't play their starters in preseason, right? I don't care. And I hear it all the time. Well, it's okay because it's not like he was going to play in preseason anyway. No, it's not okay. And this is not great, guys. I want to make this very clear because this is a guy who has a ramp-up process just like everybody else. I talk about it all the time. I cover the Yankees. I'll tell you right now as well. And I'll tell you right now with baseball, everyone who is watching this channel right now that follows baseball knows Blake Snell in all likelihood. Blake Snell signed late, missed all of training camp, and took forever to get to the point where he felt comfortable. He actually got hurt again because he wasn't able to kind of have that ramp-up period, okay? And I say this all the time, and I use this example all the time because I really feel like it is important. I understand player safety is everything, okay? I get that. But there is, and this is out of Jonah Jackson's control. Also aware of that because he's injured. But there is a reason why training camp matters, okay? I understand why people don't want to go to training camp. I understand it does bring the possibility of this, and even worse, we saw Darion Kendrick already tore his ACL. But the point is, this stuff is so important. You have to get your body in that rhythm, in that, give your body momentum, give your body, essentially a routine. And not being a part of this ramp-up period where you're getting yourself ready for a 17-game schedule, you're getting yourself ready for intense contact, it's not great, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not great. So Jonah Jackson could absolutely come back and be totally fine, but I do have issues with him missing 6 weeks, okay? That is significant. So what is a bruised scapula? Let me just make this very clear to you guys. It's a common symptom of a fracture, okay? And it's a bruising on the shoulder blade. And this is caused, you can't do this just by moving around. This is a direct traumatic event. So basically, there has to be contact, whether it's, somebody running into you or you fall on the ground or whatever. There has to be something. It's a collision-based injury. So I still have no idea how it happened. But also keep in mind, practices and training camps and all that, don't just assume because they're wearing those, caps on their helmets that, it's all soft and fun and games. No, I mean, there's still contact. So he easily on a pull, because he's a guard and guards pull, he easily on a pull could have separated his shoulder or something like that. I'm not saying he separated his shoulder, but I'm saying you can get banged up if you make contact with somebody at full speed. You can get banged up. And so it takes a direct impact to get to this point. And it's really unfortunate, but it could be a lot worse. So I want to be very clear here because I do think it is significant to have an injury like this and miss 6 weeks. Even if he misses, only 1 week of the regular season or he comes back before it, that's still 6 weeks of time in a new offense with new players and all of that he didn't get a chance to be a part of. Now, understand this. Symptoms for this are going to include obvious pain, right? Immediate pain, swelling, decreased range of motion, impaired mobility, numbness, tingling, and coldness in the hand and forearm, popping and cracking sound at the time of the fracture, increased pain when moving the arm, and holding an injured arm close to the body. So you're not going to be able to play left guard dealing with this. So this needs to be, and I'd make the argument it could be more than 6 weeks for real. So I am concerned about this. Now, the questions I'm going to get I already know in the comment section is like, hey, Jake, obviously this sucks, but where do we go from here? What happens now? And this is part of the reason why I was doing the series, and I'll continue to do the series just behind a little bit. But there are some really good pieces in this room. And even if Jonah Jackson can't go, I think the Rams have a lot of different opportunities here, a lot of different options. The problem here is not knowing which option to go with. So hear me out when I say this, because, left tackle right now, Alec Jackson is also banged up. Now, it's not as severe as this, but I'm a little concerned, okay? He tweaked his ankle. That could be something that lingers throughout the year. I hope it doesn't. But think about this right now. If Alec Jackson and, Jonah Jackson are out, who's playing left tackle? And you have to think about this because there are options, but I mean, you're starting to get deep into your depth here because, yeah, Joe Noteboom can play left tackle, although I prefer him at guard. AJ Curry is also listed as a left tackle. They have Blake Larson, the UDFA, and of course Warren McClendon Jr., who I just did a video on. I think Warren McClendon Jr. is the option there at left tackle. Now, I'm not saying that they wouldn't go with Noteboom. I'm saying I think they should go with Warren McClendon. Now, after that, you have Noteboom at left guard taking over for Jackson. Then you had Avila, Dotson, Havenstein. That, to me, is what I would probably do. But this is where you can get creative, and you have to be careful here, and I'll explain why. Because you could also go with Joseph Noteboom at left tackle. You can move Steve Avila to left guard, bring in Bo Limmer, the rookie, putting him in at center, Dotson at right guard, and then Havenstein at right tackle. There are pros and cons to everything, right? Avila, can play guard, but if you're trying to build him up as the center of the future, and now you're taking him out of the center spot, the first sign of trouble, he's probably going to, and think about this too, because Jonah Jackson at some point will come back. Now, Avila, who needs to learn this position at the NFL level because he's a natural center, but he still needs to be ramped up at the NFL level at center. That could be a problem. It could take him out of his rhythm. You could also go with Noteboom and then have McClendon at left guard and then have, or Leviston, KT Leviston, the 7th round pick, Avila at center, Dotson, and then Havenstein. I think there are multiple options. I mean, think about this. Even Logan Bruss is in play here. Now, I'm not saying he'd play left tackle, but he could play left guard. And I understand they moved him to tackle, but, stranger things have happened. I mean, Bo Limmer could also play guard. He's played guard before. KT Leviston, like I mentioned. Zach Thomas. So there are guys. I'm not saying they have a ton of guys right now. This does kind of push their depth if there are two guys out. But I think, right now, we'll look at it like this. The Rams dodged a bullet, essentially, because this could have been a lot worse. And it has been a lot worse, okay? They've already dealt with the torn ACL on this roster, and they went out and signed Jerry Jacobs. Well, now you start to look like, man, are we going to have to go and sign somebody? And I think the Rams really have to think about this because, I mean, let's be honest here. You don't know. You don't know. You have no idea if you're going to have to go out and sign somebody. As of right now, you're told, okay, this is an ankle tweak and this is a scapula bruise. Now, we don't know if it'll be 6 weeks or what. We're being told it'll be 6 weeks. I mean, any of these guys could at any point have a setback. So it is important to realize that. And currently, looking at SpoTrack, which I am doing right at this very moment, looking at offensive line, okay, because I'm curious, who is still available for the Rams? Because if they do have to go out there and find somebody because they don't have enough depth, which I feel like they do, but having two guys out could be a problem. Now, the guys that are available, and obviously some of them have retired and what have you, but there are some pretty decent names. DJ Humphries, David Bakhtiari. You have, Corey Linsley. I think he did retire. Charles Leno, Dwayne Brown. A lot of those guys that I just mentioned are left tackles. Guard, Mark Glowinski, Phil Haynes, Halipuli Vaitai, Donovan Smith, Matt Filer. There are a lot of guys here, and I'm not saying they're amazing, but there are, there's a decent amount where you're like, okay, maybe they could plug this guy in. Gabe Jackson, Jonathan Harris. Quite a few. I would say this, though. I wouldn't be signing any of them to start. I'd be signing them as depth. So we'll see where they go. We'll see what direction they go in. Right now, I am a little concerned. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Jonah Jackson, if he's not on the field and say this is just the tip of the iceberg and he is about to miss a bunch of games, which he's already done before, if he doesn't stay healthy, that's like $18 million that you just paid to him that's not on the field. And the way I look at it is this. I hate to be that guy, but I got to keep it real here. If he's not on the field, that means that's $18 million that other teams were able to spend on other players that you aren't getting, you're not reaping the rewards of. So essentially you spent $18 on a guy $18 million that's essentially not available. So I think that is a concern, is that, they moved on from other guys in free agency that they probably, eyed, and they went after Jonah Jackson. And there were other guys available. So if he ends up having a hard time staying healthy, I mean, it was already kind of out there. That was my biggest concern. That was a lot of people's biggest concern. So those are my thoughts, folks. Kind of rambled a little bit, but it's kind of a whole brainstorm in a sense, and not in the way of like, oh yeah, we're brainstorming. No, it's like literally my mind right now thinking about everything, all the possibilities of this. This is going to matter. Okay, I'm being honest with you. This stuff lingers. This stuff comes back. So hopefully Jonah Jackson is going to be okay. Hopefully Alec Jackson's going to be okay. I didn't make this an Alec Jackson video. I just mentioned that he tweaked his ankle because I feel like that was a while ago and I wasn't on top of that. Sorry about that. But Jonah Jackson, that just happened yesterday. We just found out because he had his arm in a sling in practice, and then it came out that he had the bruised scapula. So hopefully things will be okay. I'm not going to lie. There's not a ton of injuries around the league. And so with that being said, as of right now, I think the Rams have, they're probably one of the top teams with the most injuries. I mean, we've seen it Kobe Turner got banged up a little bit. Ernest Jones. I mean, there's been a lot of guys. Losing Darion Kendrick to a torn ACL, there's not too many season-ending injuries already. The Rams are already one of those teams that have one. So hopefully the rest of the team can stay healthy. It's not looking so hot right now. I'm not going to lie. But I still feel great about this team. I really do. And, obviously could have been worse with Jonah Jackson. So try to stay positive, I guess. But at the same time, definitely be aware of what this could actually mean. That's all I'm saying. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan. And check out, of course, if you want to purchase some Via, definitely go and check out the link in the description and the comment section below. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, folks. Later. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.